All right, welcome back. Number one Cochran Sports Showdown continues. We're talking about the Steelers, who won yesterday 16-6 against the Titans, so they're 2-1. But more important was how they seemed to play defensively compared to last week. So, Mark Kaboly, you're around that team all the time. Do you believe more in what you saw yesterday or more what you saw last week in Green Bay?
Well, I'd say a little bit of both. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that just because they played well 2 quarters against the Tennessee Titans with the majority of their starters, that's going to just tell you that they're going to be good in the regular season. If it works the other way, it can work that way right there. But there are a lot of things that you feel a little bit better about. You see guys like Stephon Tuitt, Cam Hayward playing well. You see the secondary playing well and getting back together. So I like what you see. I don't think they really need it. I don't think needed this effort or this result to have a good season. I think we'll still find that out in the first month or 2 of the season. But it's a good move. I think they really needed something like this just to get that bad taste out of their mouth. But come 10 days or 2 weeks from now, it's not going to matter.
Yeah, I'll just go right here. Do I feel a little bit better? Sure I do, because as Mark points out, you've got the bookend defensive ends, and I think the way this defense has evolved, it's really important that those guys are in peak performance, peak health, and not dealing with something lingering. But the void at inside linebacker, to me, is still a major problem. And they had all offseason to fix that. They didn't. I think the Vince Williams contract was a terrible move to give a guy like him that kind of money. Because I don't know if Vince Williams is without Ryan Shazier, Bob.
But I'm terrible from a standpoint of money or length of time?
I don't think he's that good of a player. I think he's Robin to Ryan Shazier's Batman. When Shazier's in there, he looks great. He gives you 8 sacks. 7 of those were with Shazier in the lineup. Without him, I remember Leonard Fournette running around him to the outside and tight ends wide open in the Jacksonville game. I think he is a marginal starting linebacker at best, and they paid him like one of the top 15 inside linebackers in football. So I don't like that move. And I think John Bostic stinks. I think there's a reason why he's played for 5 teams in the last 5 years, and he'll probably be on his 6th team by 2019.
The most encouraging thing I saw was something Mark mentioned, the 2 defensive ends being back and healthy. I get what you're saying, Andrew. I don't totally disagree with you, but if those 2 are going, and obviously Stephon Tuitt and Cam Hayward are the 2 I'm talking about, man, were they fun to watch. Really, really impressive. Couple good performances from rookies, too. I liked what I saw out of Terrell Edmonds, but those bookend defensive ends, if they're going like that, I was really encouraged.
Do you have confidence in any of their linebackers, Jason? Seriously?
No, I don't. No, I don't. I can't. I like Vince Williams more than you do, but that's about all I got.
No, I'm a big Vince Williams fan, actually. I think he's gets a little bit of a bad rap. I think he's a pretty good defender within the red zone area. He's by far the best, and now best they have. Did he get a little bit of benefit of the doubt, being that, Shazier's out and they don't really have much to go? Yeah, that's why he probably got the contract that he did. I think that's why we're seeing a lot of different schemes being thrown out there. You could probably throw, 5, 7, 8, 10 different types of schemes where they're working through to see, because they're not truly happy with how that inside linebacker position is going. If they're going from the dollar and even the Seminole, what we saw, when you're throwing out a rookie undrafted free agent like Matthew Thomas yesterday to hope to try to find something. Now, I think that was more in case there was some sort of injuries to the outside guys, but you're trying everything. I mean, let's not forget Tyler Matakevich. He hasn't been good at all either. Maybe the best guy out of that top 4 might be L.J. Fort.
So, yeah, he's been terrific. All right, real quick, I have about 1:30 left for this topic, and that would be use of the running backs in the opener in Cleveland. Now, we have seen what happens when Le'Veon Bell misses an entire camp, has no practice virtually to deal with, and he was not good for the first 3 games of last year, at least by his own standards. So, Jason Mackey, when you look at this, would it serve them well to incorporate James Conner and not just give 99% of the carries to a man who hasn't done anything all season?
Yeah, I mean, Le'Veon Bell is going to carry this team very far this season, I believe. But I don't see any reason why he needs to touch the ball 25 times against Cleveland. I liked what I saw out of Conner. I liked what I saw out of Jalen Samuels. Ease Le'Veon Bell in. Last year it did not go well. Don't press it.
I think week 1 you do that. Maybe a little bit week 2. But by week 3 and week on, man, if Le'Veon, we tend to forget, because he's out of sight, out of mind, that how great this guy is. James Conner is very good. He showed that through the preseason, through the training camp. He still can't hold a candle to Le'Veon Bell. It might be the thought of getting James Conner the ball in there, but once they're in the, the bullets are flying, they're out there, guess who's going to be out there? 26.
No doubt, Mark.
And that's
but
who should be out there.
You know this well. It's a totally different run blocking situation with Bell than it is with Connor. You got to hold your blocks longer because of the hesitation moves he uses. That takes some synergy between the running back and the line. Connor is straight ahead. I think it helped that he showed he could catch the ball out of the backfield on Saturday, which we know is a big part of Bell's game. The first last year, Bell got 93% of the touches. That's got to be more like 60-40 for the first 3 games, and I want Connor getting more rushing attempts versus Cleveland than Le'Veon Bell.
We have another game coming up. It's the final one Thursday night, KDKA-TV against the Carolina Panthers. Roster moves still to be made, and we'll find out if some of those guys can make a job for themselves on Thursday. But right now, it's time to go around the horn for this week's Smooth Moves, brought to you by Pittsburgh's largest supplier of the smoothest granite, marble, and quartz countertops. That's Armina Stone. So, let's start with you, Andrew. Your smooth move of the week is?
3 names: Matt Nagy, Sean McVay, Mike McCarthy. They didn't play their stars in week 3. They benched all their premier players. Smart, risk reward. Don't play those guys in meaningless exhibition
One name,
games.
Bill Belichick did. Mark, go ahead.
Well, I would have to say go into the baseball. And these, I know it's been 2 years now with these names on the back of their uniforms. I think it's a smooth move where you're doing guys like Cricky and what was that, Vegas one? What was
Vegas,
that?
yeah.
Something Vegas.
How about
Vegas.
Boxberger just had a cheeseburger on the back of his uniform?
And Joey Court was like, I'm the other Joey or the other Court. I mean, I guess that's a smooth move. I thought it was a little funny.
I'm going Jamie Alexiak for mine. I did a story recently. He did some volunteer work down in Ecuador, nothing he had to do. Just reminds you a lot of quality people in hockey, and it is starting up in a few days. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's a good move, and it is a smooth move. Those are the smooth moves for the week, brought to you by Armina Stone, who features Pittsburgh's largest indoor stone gallery of granite and marble countertops imported from all over the world to give you the smoothest countertops in your neighborhood. Score a touchdown with new granite countertops from Armina Stone. How about a bowl guarantee from Pat Narduzzi? We'll talk about it next.